Hello, I'm Katerina, and welcome to my cooking channel. I've wanted to do this for a very long time, for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and my dear friends. Because to me, cooking is more than just making food. It's an act of love and making memories. This is my legacy. So I hope you enjoy the videos and start making memories with your family. Thank you.
Welcome, family and friends, to Cooking with Katerina. Today, we're going to make macaroni and cheese, a simple recipe that my oldest daughter, Elena, loves. It's her comfort food. And if you haven't seen my video on Sloppy Joe's, this complements it just perfectly. So, first I'm going to give you a list of ingredients. As you can see, I've already cooked up 1 pound of medium shelled macaroni. And I like the shelled better than the elbow because when you put the creamy, cheesy sauce all over it, it just kind of goes inside each shell, makes it delicious. You'll also need either 1 stick of margarine or butter, whichever you prefer, and 6 cups. I'm using almond milk, but you can use 2% or whole milk, whichever you prefer. But my children love it when I use the almond milk, the original unsweetened. You're also going to need 5 tablespoons of cornstarch and a 1/4 cup of cold water that you're going to mix with the cornstarch once your milk and your butter have melted and got hot enough to put the cornstarch in. Then you're going to need, I use block cheese, the white cheddar block cheese, because if you buy the bag cheese, you're going to see there's cellulose in it and it just doesn't melt as well as the block cheese does. I also have a 15-ounce jar of cheese dip, which melts into it, and with the combination of the cheese dip and the cheddar just gives it a beautiful flavor. You'll love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start making our sauce. Again, prepare your macaroni according to the package. You want it to be al dente because when you put the cream sauce on to bake it, you're going to want to have that noodle be able to absorb some of that cream sauce or most of that cream sauce. Okay, so we'll start now. Okay, I have my stove on medium heat and we're going to add, and as you can see, I cut up the margarine or butter, whichever you prefer to use, into chunks so it can melt. And we want it to be almost completely melted before we add our milk to it. Okay, our butter is melted and now we're going to add our 6 cups of almond milk, the original unsweetened, or you can use 2% milk or homogenized milk, whichever you prefer. I will tell you that almond milk does not quite thicken up the way 2% or homogenized does, so just be aware of that. Now we're going to let this heat up before we add our cornstarch. So get it to the point where you don't want it boiling, but you want it to be good and warm. Okay, as I was waiting for my milk and butter to heat up to a temperature that I could put the cornstarch in, I put on my oven to 350 and it is heating up right now. So what we're going to do next, now that this is heated to a temperature that is good enough to put the cornstarch in, we're going to take our 1/4 cup water, cold water, and put it in our 5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and we're going to mix that up. so that we can pour it into our milk, and it will start thickening. Okay. So make sure it's mixed up there good, and then we'll start pouring this in, and you're going to stir the milk as you're pouring in the cornstarch. And you should start feeling that start to thicken up a little bit, the milk. Make sure you get all that out of there. Now, as I said, almond milk does not thicken as much as homogenized or 2% milk, but it will thicken up some. Remember, you're going to pour this cheesy cream sauce over the macaroni, and it's going to absorb and thicken up at the same time. So next, we're going to put in our orange cheese here, the 15 ounces of jar cheese. That's going to give it a nice color. And stir that in too. Make sure we get all that out of there and into the milk. And now we're going to put in our 8 ounces of block cheddar, white cheddar, that we shredded. A lot of people put 3 and 4 different kinds of cheeses in their macaroni and cheese, and that's really not necessary if you get the right kind of cheese. This will be just perfect for the amount that we're making. Okay, our oven is up to temperature and our cheese and milk is blended together. So we're ready to pour this over the macaroni and stick it in the oven. Okay, now the next step is to pour the cheese sauce over the macaroni. Then we're going to stir it a little bit to make sure it's the macaroni and the cheese mixture is all mixed together, and then we'll just put it in the oven on 350 for about 40 to 45 minutes, or until it has a nice golden color on top, and it will start bubbling, so you'll know it's done. Everything is cooked, so you really don't have to worry about cooking it. What you're doing is just getting all the flavors to mix together. Okay, so we're going to pour this over now. And you can see there's a lot of cheese sauce, but again, your macaroni is going to absorb a lot of this. So we'll very carefully mix this up. And you can see the almond milk does not get as thick as if you use 2% or homogenize. But this will be a very cheesy, creamy macaroni and cheese. Okay, we'll see it when it comes out of the oven. Okay, we've taken our macaroni and cheese out of the oven. Now in my oven, it took 36 minutes. Now you know your oven, it might take a little longer or a little less. So I would say around 30 minutes, check it and see if yours has a nice color the way this does. And I'll hold it up for you. And I let it set for about 15 minutes. Now we're ready to serve this delicious macaroni and cheese. We'll put some of the bowl here. And as you can see, I told you about the almond milk. but the longer it sets, the more it's going to pull together, as they say. So I'll give it a taste here. Ready? This is so cheesy. Again, you don't need to stick in all kinds of cheeses. Just follow my recipe, and if you like it, hit share and like and subscribe. And I'd appreciate it if you tell all your friends and family. In the meantime, thank you and enjoy the delicious food that you'll be making.